Okay, so we've got our main distorted bass playing, and we've got it all programmed in. So the next thing we're going to do is create a phasing bass, which is will have like a phasing effect on it. They'll warp and have it filling in some of the gaps that the distorted bass isn't playing. And sometimes we'll drop the distorted bass out and actually have it playing instead. So what I'll do is duplicate up our distorted bass. So we just right-click the track, duplicate, and we'll just call this one phase bass, and that'll bring all of our pattern and automation and things across. So we're going to use the exact same automation, and we'll change that later on. We'll bring the volume of this track up slightly because it's not going to be as prominent. So to begin with, if we just go into the inserts that we've got on here, and we're just going to change this so we don't want the amp simulator, so we can turn it off, and we can leave the we'll leave the camel crusher on it, but we don't want the bit crusher. So we'll just listen to what that sounds like without those two on it. Still sounds pretty similar. So I'm going to go into the camel crusher. I'm going to change the patch on this because it's quite severe, the annihilate patch. And we'll just go through. So something nice and subtle. So the tube warmth here. We'll add a tiny bit of compression. And we'll bring the volume of it back. It's a wee bit loud. We don't need the filter. We can turn the tube amount up on it. Just add a bit of sort of high-end characteristic to it and a wee bit of fizz, as I like to call it. Okay, so we'll add a compressor and things like that later on, but for now I'm just going to go into the phase bass, open up silent, and we're going to change this patch around slightly. So at the minute we've got what have we got? We've got our tri-saw wave, so we'll try a different wave type in here. And we'll bring the voices back, we don't need just as many. We don't need to detune it just as much. And we'll add another voice over here. Let's bring the volume of it back slightly too. We'll bring the drive off. Touch of resonance. And we're just going to apply this just to these two oscillators. And we'll go to part B, and what we'll do is add a bit of white noise. Bring the volume of it back. And we'll add a triangle wave. Just bring the cutoff of this up so we can hear it a bit better. We'll change this just to filter B, so we're just having the filter on these two. Don't need any resonance, we don't want any drive. Let's bring the volume of the saw wave back. Bring the white noise down slightly. Just going to change the filter type to 12 dB roll off there, so more of the higher end gets through. That's just on part A. Then I'm just going to turn off the distortion, and I'm going to turn the phase control on. This is the thing that's really going to give it its sort of momentum. So you can play around with the different rate types and the spread settings and things. Just get one that sounds nice and sort of nice and I don't know, it gives it a bit of movement anyway, something that sort of warps around your current bass line. Let's push the dry wet right up to full. So I mean, this is just experimentation. Just play around until you get something that you're happy with. And we'll just add a bit of EQ. And the built-in EQ in here is quite handy. So you can do this again outside. This is just a 5 dB boost at 67 Hertz and a 5 dB boost at 2,500 Hertz. We'll add some reverb. Turn the compressor off. We'll keep the reverb nice and short and punchy. Bring the size and the pre-delay down. Turn the damp up. Okay, so that's pretty much everything I can think of that we do to that. We'll just turn the mono legato on. We don't want two notes being played at the same time, and we'll turn the portamento up as well. It's something we'll use later on for bending the bass line up. Okay, so the rest of that we can leave as is, and we'll just come out of here. Just going to drop a quick compressor on there. So if we go to the inserts, and I'll just drop a compressor on after the Camel Crusher. Let's turn the ratio up. And we'll have a nice hard knee on it as well. We can adjust the makeup gain here. Give it a bit of a boost. We'll bring the attack down. It doesn't really matter about the attack. We're using the attack from the distorted bass that we created before. We're going to go for a peak on this one, just so the whole thing gets compressed from the get-go. And then I'm going to go into the extended options and add a bit of EQ in here as well. So at the minute we've got EQ copied over from the previous one. I'm just going to move this down to the lower end. So at about 100 Hertz, it's going to do a boost on this bass. And not 9 dB though, about 3 or 4. Bring the Q back just to make it a bit finer. We'll add another boost. Let's add some air into this. Let's bring it up the range at about 9 kilohertz or so. And another boost. And this time in the mid-range. I'll take that off the high shelf there and set it to the parametric. So around about 600 Hertz or so. So that's a bit of boost in the middle. And we'll add a bit of this to our reverb as well. Not too much though. Don't want to swamp the whole mix. Okay, so I'm just going to play this round. So you can hear there, that's sort of beefs the whole thing up and gives it a bit of movement in this sort of upper range. We're going to change around a few of the automation parameters in there, and we'll do that in the next tutorial.